Close this door. My head being chopped off. Looks like my head's being chopped off just a little bit. There you go. Okay. Okay, if you can hear me, guys. I know everybody's starting to come in, so say hello in the chat. Let's see. Let me pull up the chat so I can see what it looks like. Okay, there it is. All right, if you can hear me, say hello. Everybody's coming in. Doors are open. Good afternoon. Happy lunchtime. If you can hear me, say yes, I can hear you. Awesome, good. Okay, Dawn is here and Corinne. All right, awesome. OG, I think is that how you say your name, OG? All right, so we're gonna get started because it's already 12:01. Okay, and I'm gonna just drink a coffee real fast. I worked really late last night and I didn't get in here until late today. So just now drinking my coffee. How are you guys doing? Is anybody here like, tell me about yourselves. So are you newbies? You have no idea about storage facilities. You've been looking into storage facilities and you're just like, I don't know where to start, or, you know, kind of where are you at in the storage facility world, right? Or do you own it? Does anybody here own any storage facilities and they're looking to buy more, scale up, trying to maybe internally organize your storage facilities? All right, so let me know what you're here to learn about. Okay, good. Barry says he wants to wholesale storage facilities. So we're actually not going to get too much into wholesaling storage facilities, but I did a webinar, I think maybe last week or the week before. I did a wholesaling storage facilities. So we're in the process of uploading our webinars to my YouTube page, and my YouTube page is going to be Stacy Rossetti Teaches. All right, Stacy Rossetti Teaches. So check back, Google it, subscribe to it, okay? And then whenever I have webinars, we're just going to stick them on there. And actually, you know what? Thank you for reminding me about that, because you know what? You can do, like in Zoom, you can do Facebook Live. I mean, you can do YouTube Live. So let me do that and try to figure this out, because I want to just put this right on there. Stacy Rossetti, Southline Maria. Cool, it's working. No, wait, I need to do like a Google notification. Hang on real fast. I always forget to do this, to put it right on, because then I don't have to go back and get my people to edit it and like put it on, and it's just like too much. So Zoom, what I like about Zoom is that you can just do like YouTube Live right onto, oh my gosh, I don't know which one it is. Great. Hopefully this is it. Well, we'll figure it out. Go live. Great, it's not going live. Oh, okay. Hang on, y'all. Sorry about that. I'll get started here in just a minute. If I can figure this out. YouTube is kind of confusing. Is anybody like a YouTube person? Because I'm trying to figure YouTube out and it is kind of confusing, actually. And I guess until you get into it, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Hopefully it works. Okay. Oh, it might be working actually. Okay, so let's see. All right, so hang tight. Sorry, y'all. Anyways, everybody can just come on and we can start here in just a minute. I'm gonna figure this Zoom thing out. Like I've been doing, I was using another company before, like another platform before, and then I switched over to Zoom, like right in the middle of like try, like when all the chaos started, which probably was not a good time to switch over because there's like no customer service help or anything. You know, I went to go like on the chat yesterday to go maybe ask a quick question, and it was like I was in the queue, and the queue was 250 people. And I was like, oh well, that's not going to help me at all. So anyways, like they're just not on top of it right now, which I get because like there's like a gazillion people going on Zoom. But okay, so I don't know what it's doing. I have no idea. I just like started this YouTube page. We're trying to figure it all out. Let's see. No, it's not working. All right, well, I'll figure it out next time. I tried. Okay, all right, let's get started. I'm going to, okay, look, we got some totally new people. I'm going to share my screen. If you have any questions, just put them in the Q&A for me, okay? And I'll answer questions later. Let me do this. Okay. All right, now I think we should be able to do it. So everybody can see. Okay, so welcome to Stacy's super simple 6-step system to storage. All right, we're gonna get started. And I'll go through the slides, and then I'm going to take you step by step today on like what you need to be doing to focus on getting started in storage facilities, how to organize your company. That's one of the things I'm really good at, is just like organizing companies, internally systematizing, automating everything, right? So that's kind of what we're going to go in today, is how to get started, how to automate, and it's like a self-storage 101 course. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so everybody can see my screen. I just want to make sure. I'm going to pull chat up. Can everybody see my screen? Just say yes or no on that. All right, I got, okay. I still don't know like how chat works. Where's my chat at? I don't even know where chat goes. Like, it's so weird. Like, why does this not come up? This is like the weirdest thing. Okay, here it is. Okay, there it is. Awesome. Okay, yes, awesome. Okay, good. Everybody's seeing my screen. Okay, good. All right, okay. All right, okay. So the challenges of self-storage investing. All right, so that's what we're going to get into today is, you know, what are the things that people, when they think about storage facilities, and actually if you have any other challenges, go ahead and put them into the chat so I can see like what people are thinking in their mind, like what are some of the issues of why you're not getting started in self-storage? All right, what are some of the challenges, right? A lot of people say like, I don't know how to find motivated sellers, or how do I find storage facilities? I don't know how to close the deal. I don't know how to talk to the seller to get them to sell their storage facility to you, right? I don't know like how to make, like what kinds of offers I should be making, how many offers I should be making, right? And then how do I even manage all this right now, like amidst everything that's going on? Can I do this from home? You know, how do I manage that? And then like, if I have a full-time job, can I still do this? So those are kind of the challenges that are coming up, right? So we're going to go over a lot of that stuff today, and just kind of give everybody an idea of how to handle all that, right? So this is my favorite, one of my favorite slides. Okay, everybody always asks me like, why self-storage, right? Why, Stacy? Like, why did you get into self-storage? Of all the different things in the real estate investing world that you could get into, why self-storage, right? And if you don't know me, if anybody doesn't know me yet, thank you for joining. And I'm going to put this there. Thank you for joining and hanging out with me. I've been teaching people how to invest in real estate for probably about maybe 7 years, 6 or 7, 8 years, something like this. And I've been investing in real estate since 2010. We bought our very first property and fixed it up, and just kind of went from there. And, you know, it was just one of those things where like, I was like, I just want to like fix the house up, you know, it's like, let's just see how that goes. And of course it like was, you know, horrible because I had no idea what I was doing, but fun at the same time, right? So it gave us kind of a little itch. The very first property that we bought, actually, which was very interesting, was in the downturn. in 2010. And it was actually our one of our well, the first one that we bought was our personal house, and we got such a good deal on that sucker. All right, we got such a good deal, right? And that kind of got started on everything. So basically, we bought a. Not a lot of people really know this about me, but we bought a house over in the Sonoya area, which is kind of south of Peachtree City. If you don't know where that's at, and Peachtree City is a suburb of Atlanta. For anybody that's not in Texas, I'm sorry, Texas, not in Georgia. I'm looking for property in Texas now too. That's why I have Texas on mine. But anyway, so so we found, like, we went out, and this was like, you know, in the downturn when like all the properties were on the market, like every house was on the market, right? And we just drove around. We were looking for properties that we could buy personally for ourselves, and we ended up finding a totally awesome property. It was on like almost 12 acres, and it had a house and a guest house on it. And the house needed to be, you know, it was kind of just like never been updated, needed to be updated, but was in really good shape. And then at the guest house was like not really too bad a shape, but it also needed to be updated and stuff too. And so we ended up buying that property for about 100, I think 140 or $145,000. So we got like, you know, like almost 12 acres plus the house and the guest house for like $145,000. I mean, that's like really good. And so the first thing that we did is we rehabbed the guest house, and we fixed it up because we were thinking in our mind, like, we need to get that rented so that we can, you know, so we can pay our mortgage. Like, not that we couldn't pay our mortgage, but essentially our mortgage was like $1,000 a month is what it was. And so we fixed that whole guest house up, and then we rented that guest house out up for almost $900 a month. Right. And our mortgage was like $1,000 a month. So then we went into our house and we fixed all of our house up. We spent maybe like $30,000, and we went in and just like updated it and fixed it up. You know, nothing crazy, but just like made it nice or whatever. And we lived there, you know, and we lived there for like 10 years until this past year we moved, but we put it on the market for $395,000, that property. $395,000. All right. So when we sell that property, and we have an offer on the table right now. When we sell that property, we'll make like, I think we paid our mortgage to like maybe 115 or so. So 115 to like, you know, even if it's like 385, and we're making like $275,000 on that property. See, that is how you get in the downturn. That's how you buy in the downturn and then you sell in the upturn, right? So that house got us like in the itch. It was like, man, like we actually, and the thing is that we lived there for 10 years for free, because the guest house we were getting almost $1,000 a month from the guest house, and our mortgage was like $1,000. So we literally lived there for free for 10 years. And then on top of that, we're selling it and making like $250,000 or more on that house. And that's a pretty good deal. All right. And so that house got us into the, like we started like, okay, well, maybe there's something to this real estate investing thing. You know, maybe we should just get into that. So we started looking around, looking for houses. And so I got into the market when, you know, right here where it says optimism to excitement to thrill. That's when I got in the market, man. I was just bing bang, and I was like rehabbing. You know, at one point I was doing like 20 rehabs at a time. All right, I was just going crazy, wholesaling and rehabbing and just having a blast. And I was thinking to myself, I'm brilliant. Oh my God, I got this together. And then I started teaching and like helping others to do it as well too. Right. And then like around 2017, 2018, like everybody got into the real estate investing world, and it started like, you know, profits started getting smaller. And it was just too many hands in the pot, right? It's just too many hands in the pot. So I just backed out is what I did. I backed out, and I was like, you know what? I got pregnant with Lillian in 2016, or I guess 2015, and she was born in 2016. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of it. So I started looking for some passive income, right? Because, you know, with like wholesaling, rehabbing, which is awesome because we made a lot of money, but at the same time, like we never knew when that money was going to come in. And so we were like, okay, we need like some passive income. And so we like what happened was like I told my realtor that kind of like finds all my properties for me. I said, just look for properties and just see what you can find. Something like passive income, like duplexes or multifamily quads, you know, like anything, you know, or, you know, something that we can bring some money in on a monthly basis. So he started looking around and he found the first property that we had was a storage facility. He found a storage facility. He's like, I think you should go by and take a look at this thing. You know, I think it's a really good deal. So so I did. I went over and took a look at that property, and the owner had that storage facility on the market for 5 years. 5 years, no offers. Actually, that's not true. 5 years, and he got a couple of offers, but he was just like, no, no. He just kept denying them or whatever. So I just went over and took a look and I was like, this is a really good deal. I mean, it's kind of a dumpy storage facility. He just was running it to the ground. He wasn't in the mood anymore. He was just tired of it. And so I made him an offer and he was like, you know what? He's like, my wife wants to retire. He was like in his 80s. We want to move to Florida. He's like, you know, I'll just take your offer. You know, so I came in like right at the right time and I got that property. And it took us a good year to figure out what we were doing with that property, honestly, because we had nobody to help us. That's the thing with the storage industry is like there's not really a lot of people that teach you how to invest in storage. And there's probably maybe a couple of people that actually teach others how to invest in storage. You know what I'm saying? So we just kind of had to figure it out on our own. And it took us a good year to get that place cleaned up and then full and starting to make some money and stuff now. But so, you know, we bought that property for $250,000. It's worth us at least $500,000 to $600,000 right now, if not more. We're making about $75,000 a year on that property. And our mortgage is about $2,000 a month with a couple of other bills, maybe $2,500. And we're making like six grand at least a month on that property. So we're making like $3,000 to $4,000 a month on that property right now, net. And which is really good because what happens is that so now we have all these other facilities and we buy just like mismanaged properties. That's what we do, is just mismanaged properties. And so like that kind of like $3,000 to $4,000 kind of carries and helps us with the other properties that we buy. Like we have like 3 properties now, we're completely full making money, and then 3 of them that we just bought in the last like 6 months that are not making money, and we're trying to build those up. And so all those 3 properties essentially carry over and help us with the expenses of the other properties, right? And so that's kind of how it works, right? And that's how I got into it. So I got into storage facilities when I was in the euphoric stage of the market, right? And just started building up over the last couple of years. And now we're going into the downturn, and guess what? We've got all these properties now that are making income, bringing enough money to pay the mortgages, pay all the bills, and have a little bit left over. So we're like, you know, we have this residual, and it's a strategy. I mean, it's a self-storage is a strategy, right? I mean, to buy one storage facility, now to buy one and make just a couple $1,000s on it a month. I mean, people will be like, yeah, that's cool. Like we're done. Like that's it. But like, you know, if you're an investor, of course, you want to invest in as many properties as you possibly can, right? And you want to build that up, you know. So our portfolio, we have probably about $1 million worth of storage facilities that we've bought. But once they're all 100% full, we can sell that probably for around $2 million, right? So, you know, so we're not only getting that monthly income every single month, we're also value adding, right? But there's 2 different ways to the story, right? So you can do like value add investing. You can do like where you buy the properties that are just not good and just like fix them up and value add and try to make money off those, right? That's one way of doing it. Or you can just buy one that's like people are going to come and buy ours that are just like, you know, 90 to 100% full, and they're just businesses that are running great. And a lot of people just do that as well too. They're interested more in just buying a property that they're going to just cash flow on every single month. And so there's 2 different ways of looking at the storage industry. And so just wanted to give you an idea of kind of how that works and how you can look at your properties. And there's no way that's wrong. It's just kind of like, I was a rehabber, I rehabbed homes. And so for me to go and buy like an ugly property and just fix it up, that's kind of just what I do, right? So that's kind of the direction I'm going to go. But some people, they don't want to do that. They just want to buy a property and just like run the business and make money, which is totally cool as well too. So, so especially like somebody said they wanted to wholesale storage facilities, you have to make sure that you understand that there's really two different ways to look at, to look at the property and to value it and to analyze it. But anyway, so the point of this slide is that we are now going into the downturn. Which one of these are you? Are you any one of these on the downturn? Are you anxious? Are you in denial? Are you fear? Are you desperate? Are you panicking? Where are you? Or are you like in the euphoric and you're just like, yeah, I'm ready for this downturn, right? And so my personal goal is to help people to be ready for the downturn and get prepared for the downturn. And I feel storage is one of those ways where it's, in all of the different markets, storage is just stable. It's just a stable it's a stable industry to get into. If you type into the chat where you're at, let me know where you're at or where you want to be, so I can help you out. Okay. And let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so this is me, all right? So why trust me? Stacy Rossetti. I have been working in the real estate market for about 10 years now. I've done over 100 rehabs in the last 5 years. I've completed several hundred transactions in all different types of transactions. I've done wholesaling, I've done rehabs, I've done like creative deal structuring, like owner finance deals. I've let's see what else. I've owned commercial property. I own storage facilities. Now we're getting into land, and we're starting to get into that, and wholesale and flip land, and also into finance land. And holding all these kinds of different transactions. So I have a lot of experience in doing all the different types of transactions. And on top of that, I'm a teacher. I love teaching. I love just like, helping as many people get into this. I mean, it's not easy. It's really not easy to get into the real estate industry. And I say this a lot to my students, honestly, because I just want them to understand it's not easy. So you got to just like push through, educate yourself as much as you can, but then you just got to do that first deal. You got to get that first deal done. A lot of people just get stuck on this like education and like watching all these webinars, which I love that y'all watch all the webinars, but at the same time, you got to just get that first deal done, because otherwise you're just going to sit and just wait, and just steam. Yeah. We don't want to do that. We want to like actually start building wealth, building your portfolio up, and, getting that passive income coming in, getting some income coming in, right? All right, cool. So, and then I own 6 facilities. I'm looking for more. This past weekend, I went driving for storage. We're going to talk about that in just a second. And then last weekend as well, too, I went driving for storage. I'm constantly looking for storage facilities and to buy and even to wholesale, right? So I'll wholesale or I'll buy those. And, my goal is to buy as many storage facilities as I possibly can. I like to buy and hold. I really don't like to wholesale as much, but I do wholesale if it's not within my radius. My radius is 2 hours driving within 2 hours. That's my radius. But I have a friend that lives in Pennsylvania, owns storage facilities in Louisiana and Georgia. I mean, because storage facilities are so easy to manage, so you can manage them from any state, you know what I'm saying? Because once you get them up and running and then stuff, you learn. I'm going to teach you, you get into my mastermind, I'll teach you how to run your storage facilities from your phone, from your iPad, right? My husband runs my storage facilities, our storage facilities. And I'm just like, do you ever work? He's the one that stays home and watches Lillian, plays with Lillian. And I get to come to the office and work. But this is what I love. I'm like a worker and he's like the family man or whatever. And I was like, did you do any work today? Yeah. I'm like, what do you do? But he manages 6 facilities. All right. So, but he doesn't answer the phones. We have somebody like an office manager answer the phones and stuff, but he like manages all the back office and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So, because we don't want to be answering the phones, right? When you got 6 facilities, you get calls, like random calls whenever, it's like, who has time for that? Not us. All right. So we have somebody that does that. Anyway, so I'm here for you. You're in the right place. If you want to learn about storage, I'm here for you. You know, if you want to learn how to invest in real estate, I'm here for you. You're in the right place. There's my husband, Pete. There's my daughter, Lillian. We live in the North Georgia mountains in a little tiny house up in the mountains, one of the tallest mountains in Georgia. We love it. We sold everything that we had last year, pretty much. We moved to this little tiny house, and then we just decided that we're going to travel. So every single month we take a vacation. We take a vacation, a 10-day vacation every single month. Now, of course, in April and this month we haven't been. We are going to take a vacation this month. Actually, my husband's heading up to New York to just go hang out with the family because, like, you know, Lillian needs like a change of pace. She needs to get out of this house. But essentially, that's like, if you look at my calendar, you'll see every month we have a 10-day vacation planned. And that's what storage facilities can do, right? Isn't that awesome? Right? We have an RV. We just take our RV and just travel around, hang out, go visit family, or just do whatever. Go to the beach. Because you could just manage it from your phone. So it's like, why not? You don't need to be sitting at home. This is me now going out and driving for storage facilities. Finding abandoned storage facilities is one of my most favorite things in the world. It's like a little treasure hunt, right? And so you drive around, and I'm telling you, this thing, if you drove past it on the street, you won't be able to see it. It's hiding behind the bushes, right? But I teach you how to find these suckers. Okay. Make sure we got some chat. Good. All right, we got some chat going on. Where is my chat? Why do I click on chat and then it doesn't come up? It's very odd. There it is. Okay. Okay, cool. I recently closed on a deal in a single family home. I just want to apply the wholesale steps. I'm familiar with learning how to wholesale these units. Okay, good. Awesome. Where was the storage? Euphoria, because we are getting in self-storage investing. Awesome. Cool. I love it. Totally new. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to talk today about your 6 departments. Okay, so and whenever I teach people how to invest in investing, I use what I call my simple 6-step system, which is basically the 6 departments of your business and of your real estate investing business. All right. And then what you do is you go through each of those departments. So make sure you get your notes ready so you can take these down and go through each of these departments. And I'm going to give you all the steps of what you should be doing in each of those departments. So what I'm going to say, you should be working on this, and this in each of the departments, right? So you at least make a list of all the things, their departments, and then inside what you should be focusing on for each of those departments. All right. I tell all my students, like, just think of your business as like, just think of your business as like in an organizational chart. You're at the top. All right. And then there's like your departments. And we're going to go over these departments. And then inside those departments, and it's like you at the top, and that's you, right? Because you're doing everything in the beginning, unless you have like people to do stuff, right? But then if you just have you, and then you list out within those departments all of the tasks of what you're supposed to be focusing on, okay? And that's kind of what we're doing now, is we're making a little organizational chart for your business. And it's just like, it's a very visual thing. And I highly recommend just drawing that out. You at the top, and then your departments, and then everything lists all the tasks for each of the departments that we go over right now, and then create that, and then just put it right on your wall. You can look at it and be like, there's my company. And that's what I did, is I have it right on my wall. I have my very first organizational chart that I made. And then as I grew, I just got like a lot of organizational charts, right? And then I can always refer back and be like, you know, okay, so these are the things I should be focusing on in this department. These are the systems. And what I'm going to give you is the systems that you should be starting within each of those departments. Okay. Got it. All right. Awesome. Okay. So we're going to focus today on your office admin department, your marketing department, your finance department, your acquisitions department, and your management department. Okay, those are the departments in the storage world that what we can focus on. All right, so everybody should have that. You can do it and then write it down, all the different tasks. Okay, office admin. These are the steps that you got to be focusing on, okay? First of all, you need to have your phone set up, all right? So in the storage world, I told you that people are just calling whenever. So when you have one storage facility, right? If you're going to wholesale storage facilities, but when you have one storage facility, it's not going to be that big of a deal, right? To like have somebody call. Now you do not want to have like your personal and your business phone number the same. You have two separate phone numbers, okay? You have your personal phone number, but you can just get like a Google Voice, like a free Google Voice number, and just have it forwarded to your phone. And when they call, you can see that it says like it's a storage thing, okay? And and then you can answer it and you could be like, Miss Lillian self-storage, right? So that's what we did. Like we just always knew when somebody was calling. So you've got to set your phone system up. First of all, I say get a free a Google Voice number, and then just separate your personal and your business number, forward your business to your personal number, and then just name it so you know when somebody's calling, right? That's the thing that you do. Now, once, like we have 6 facilities, so we actually use Grasshopper, which is actually probably the cheapest thing out there, right? So it's like I think it's like a base rate of like $50 a month, and then like $10 per line that you have. And we have like only like 12 lines. So, so as you grow, you have a lot of different lines. So you can use Grasshopper, okay? We've used a lot of phone lines, a lot of different phone companies, and I think Grasshopper is the cheapest one out there. And so that's setting up your phone. So you want to have your phones ready, whether or not you're going to be wholesaling storage facilities like some of you want to do, or you want to own your own storage facility. You've got to have that separate line that you know when somebody's calling, it's for your storage facility. And if you're wholesaling storage and then you're actually owning a storage facility, I would recommend even getting a third line, right? So all your wholesaling calls are coming in on this line, your actual storage facility calls are coming in on this line, and then your personal calls are coming on this line. You can forward it to the same number and then answer your phones that way. Okay. Because like I said, the phone with the storage industry, because what happens in the storage facility industry is that when you're buying a storage facility, you don't think about this, but you're buying like a retail store. I mean, you're buying a retail store. So people are always worried about like, I need to find a storage facility to buy. How do I find one? How do I find one? But they don't really think like all of the steps after you buy that thing. Now you have to actually run a business. You have to like answer the phones. You got to find customers. You got to do marketing. You got to take care of your tenants. You got to do the auctions. People are so worried about that first step. They don't ever think about all the other steps after it. We're going to go over the other steps as well too, but you have to think about this. It's a system. It's a 6-step system, which is all of the things that you have to do. Okay. Number 2 is you have to go electronic. Okay. So what this means is you got to be able to, we're going to work off your phone. You got to be able to work off your iPad or your phone, because you're driving around for storage facilities. All right. So you need to have, like, I have Google Photos on my phone. I take pictures, and my photos are backed up to Google Photos. Right. And I take pictures of the storage facilities that I find, and then I save them into an album on Google Photos. Right. And then you also have to have Landglide on your phone. Landglide is $10 a month, and that's where it's going to pull up the data, the public data of each facility, so you can actually find the facility, find the boundaries, find the owners, mail them letters. All right. On top of that, you need to have Google Drive or something in the cloud, right? I use Google for everything. It's actually a Google phone, right? So, but Google Drive is where you're going to be managing your whole company, all your spreadsheets and everything that you do, right? So, and you can get Google Drive right on your phone. So I mean, I use Google Drive literally on a daily basis. I'm pulling up Google Drive, Google Photos, and then the software that you're going to be using to run your company, the back office software, is going to be also on your phone as well too, or on your app or whatever on your computer. But like you have that software. So essentially, you need to be going electronic. We are 100% electronic. We literally have hardly any papers. We don't print hardly at all, anything at all. We have no papers at all. Everything is completely electronic now. We have like one little filing cabinet. That's it. And it's like every year we have one little box for our papers, and that's it. We've been electronic for forever now. We've been electronic like probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. We don't have any papers at all hardly, So that's what you got to do. You got to be electronic. You got to be a virtual. Another thing too is a lot of storage facilities like during the past couple of months have really suffered because they think that they have to have an office, and that people come in, sign the documents, and then they go get their facility. These huge big companies like U-Haul and like Public Storage and all of them, I mean, they're really hurting right now because like, You can't have anybody in the office. You can't like take customers right now. And they had to figure out how to go virtual. We didn't have that issue at all because I haven't even met a tenant. I've met no tenants since I like 3 years ago. The first year we were like going out and like every once in a while meeting some tenants and stuff. And after that, I was like, man, I don't have time for this. I'm going electronic. We got to figure this out. So we just went completely electronic. Okay. And then even if you're a wholesaler, you're out driving around and stuff, you got to be able to take pictures and upload them to your to a folder in your drive. Okay, so you've got to be electronic nowadays. All right, you got to set up your LLC. All right, so you do not want to be purchasing properties in your name. You want to be purchasing them in a company name, right? And I would personally recommend if you're going to wholesale properties and you're going to buy and hold, it's two different companies. Two different companies. You do not want to be wholesaling and buying, holding in your same company. Now, I am not an attorney. I'm not anything like that. All right. So I recommend talking to an attorney to get all that set up. But essentially, this is what I do. All right. We've got separate companies to do active income and passive income. All right. So you want to make sure you set those up. And then you want to start building your team, right? So I told you my realtor, he looks for, like literally wakes up and looks for every storage facility that comes on the market in Georgia. If it comes on the market that day, guess who gets it? Me, the very first one. All right, so he's up and looking for storage facilities, right? Because he makes his money off of me. He knows I'm going to buy it if it's a good deal, right? So realtors, you got to have realtors. You got to have brokers sending you deals. Storage facility deals, right? You've got to have like, for your team, you've got to have somebody that's like maybe if you go out and if you go out and drive for storage facilities, you need to have if either you're going to do it, come back and put everything on your spreadsheet and manage all that yourself, or hire somebody to do that. I just have somebody do that. My office manager does that. It does not cost a lot of money to do that, but it just takes up so much time. I work on things that that make us money, and then Emily, she does all the stuff that's going to cost us money. All right, so building your team is key, right? Once you get a storage facility, and once you get a couple of storage facilities, you're going to have somebody to help you manage those, right? Because, we have 6 facilities. We have like a boots on the ground person that goes around and kind of overlocks everything. Sweeps out the units when they're dirty, like after somebody moves out, picks up the trash around the facility because everybody always leaves trash everywhere and like leaves crap. They say, oh yeah, we emptied it out, and they take a picture of the facility, and then we go like around the corner, there's like some trash there or whatever. So you got to have somebody to pick that up. We don't do that. We hire somebody to do that, right? So these kind of things you got to think about, right? You have to pick a market, all right? Yeah, so this is under marketing. This is your marketing department, all right? And so you want to pick a market, and the thing is that, what I focus on is properties that are $1 million or less, but most of the time they're $500,000 or less. You can wholesale, like one of my students right now is wholesaling a storage facility. He got it under contract for $900,000. He's wholesaling it for $1.2 million. Can you imagine? One deal, right? So you can wholesale big properties. Now it's a REIT that's buying it. All right. So guess what? When a REIT buys it, pain in the ass, man. But I mean, for a couple $100,000, you can put up with that, right? So picking your market is key. So inside big metro areas, you're not going to find any storage facilities that anybody's going to buy. All the REITs have come in, all U-Hauls and Public Storages and Cube Smarts and all these have come in and bought all the mom and pop shops. So inside Atlanta, you're not going to find anything. Rarely will you find something inside Atlanta that's like a mom and pop shop. Unless it's like a stubborn mom and pop that's just like, no, this is mine. I'm keeping it forever. So you want to go outside of metro areas, right? So I have a student right now that's in Virginia, and it's like, okay, you can't like the DC area. Well, obviously in the DC area, it's gonna be very expensive. So he's got to go out, right? Or you got to look someplace else. Like I told you, I have the storage facility owner friend that lives in Pennsylvania, manages properties in Louisiana and Georgia, right? Because those are the price ranges that he's good with, or that maybe even that his lenders are good with. You know what I'm saying? So, finding markets outside of the bigger metro Atlanta areas, metro city areas, are what you really need to focus on. All right, especially for properties that are good first-time buyer properties. All right, and you want to look at you want to look at the cap rate of what the city is, right? What is the average cap rate of that city, right? Most storage facilities inside of like the city are like 5 to 7% cap rates, right? Outside of the city, the cap rates get bigger. You want to be able to provide to your, if you're going to wholesale, you want to be able to provide to your buyers the best cap rate possible, right? And so you want to make sure that you research markets where the cap rates are higher, right? So higher, because that you can get, and then that way as a wholesaler, you can get that spread. You can get that spread on the cap rate. So, so when you're searching around, when you're trying to figure out what markets you want to be in, and I highly recommend that if you didn't watch my webinar on how to choose the right market, which I just did last week, highly recommend that you watch that one. As soon as I get it on the Stacey Rossetti Teaches website, YouTube page. I just did a how to choose your market webinar, and I go like just for an hour, just like deep into how to choose your market. But essentially, especially on the commercial side, you want to be looking at cap rates for areas. Okay, what is the average cap rate? And you want the highest possible cap rate, right? And so the further that you go outside the city, usually your cap rates are bigger. Most buyers, like if you were going to wholesale to me, or if I was going to buy a storage facility right now, like it has to be double-digit cap rates, has to be double-digit. And for me, honestly, like 10% is too low. I'm looking for like 12, 13, 15, 18, 20% cap rates. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So if I was buying a storage facility, if I was buying a storage facility, I would want to go directly to the seller and buy directly from the seller, because you can get the best cap rate that way. If you go to like a broker or a like Crexy or LoopNet or all these different places, like if you look at the cap rates, they're like 5% cap rates, 6. It's just not good cap rates. You can get so much better if you just go straight to the seller. Okay. So driving for storage. All right, and then telling this is what I've been teaching people. Teaching people how to find facilities for the last couple of years. When anybody asks me, I just say just drive around and call around and just start asking everybody. You just have to ask the sellers. That's what you got to do. So you got to pick your market, and then you've got to drive around. When you're driving around now and looking, like just out driving, you need to be looking for storage facilities, because especially the abandoned ones, they're going to be like, the ones that you're always passing by all the time, and you're just like not even noticing that thing. You know what I'm saying? So you got to drive for storage facilities, and you've got to you've got to just call, like right when you're in front of the facility, you call the owner up and talk to them, right? Because I'm telling you, when you're like right in front of the facility, I'm telling you, that's the trick. And then guess what? That owner, he lives right around the corner. You know what he's going to do? He can come over and be like, hey, yes, I do want to sell. I'll be over there in just a couple of minutes. I'm telling you, I've done that. Out of the 6 facilities, 3 of the facilities, that's when I was just like right in front, and they just came over and drove over. I'm the type of person that I just drive for storage facilities. Like we just went out driving, and it was just like a day for us. We just drove around. We stopped at a park, had a picnic, went for a little walk, a little hike. And we just drive around and just kind of like, hang out as a family. That's our thing. Now, some people, they're going to get online and they're going to look online first and map it out and like try to like, really like, okay, now, what should I do, and strategically plan, which you can do that too. You can get on and just map it out, look up on Google Maps, all the different storage facilities, all the ones that are on Google Maps. You'll be able to find easily, right? But you make sure that you look for the ones that are not on Google Maps too as well, because there's 50% are on and 50% are not on Google Maps, right? So you just want to make sure you keep your eye out for the ones that are not. And so that's basically driving for storage. That's driving for storage. That's Google Maps, looking online, and then calling them up when you're there. Now, if they don't answer the phone and you call them up when you're right there, well, then you come back and you put them on a spreadsheet, right? And then you can sit and call. So all the ones that we didn't call, we didn't get a hold of this past weekend, Emily is putting them on a spreadsheet for me right now. And guess what? I'll just take a half of a day and I'll just sit there and call. So we went out for about 8 hours the last 2 Saturdays or Sundays, whatever day it was. And I found probably around 15 storage facilities in each of those days. So I have like 30 new storage facilities that I have to sit and call. And so you have to take that time to call them and talk to them. All right, make sure you talk to the owners. And then, so that's it for marketing. All right. Any questions that you have, anything about questions, anything that comes up, just put it in the Q&A, please. All right. And at the end of the webinar, I will answer questions for you. Okay. So now you're like calling up and guess what? Somebody says, yeah, I want to sell. Okay. So now you got to run comps, right? Which is hard to do, right? It's hard to run comps because there's not really ever comps for storage facilities anywhere. So what you got to do is you've got to go around and you've got to look at what storage facilities have sold. Has there been any storage facilities that sold in that area, and what have they sold for? Number one. Number two, you can always figure out square footage, right? And then try to figure out like per square foot, like what, what's the price per square foot, depending on the area. Every area is completely different. So you have to educate yourself on what's the price per square foot of what's being sold in that area, and then multiply it by the square foot. And usually it's anywhere from $20 to $40 a square foot, something like that, maybe, depending on the area. But so you have to figure out in your area what's your price per square foot. We already talked about the cap rate, and try to figure out the cap rate in that area as well too. All right, deal analysis. All right, so I use a spreadsheet called ROI Muse, MUSE, and I'll put the link also when I send the replay out to everybody for this webinar. I'll put the link in that because right now they gave me basically 50% off. So if you need a spreadsheet to run numbers and calculate deal analysis, usually they charge $360 a year, but I get it for $180 a year. But it's a totally awesome spreadsheet, and it's just basically like a commercial. It's like a commercial deal analysis spreadsheet where you can do multifamily, storage, all the different types of commercial properties. And then also you get a rehabbing spreadsheet as well too, and a rental spreadsheet. So you get 3 spreadsheets for the price of for 180 bucks. So anyways, I use that. So you got to get in and you got to run your numbers, right? And try to calculate what your numbers are going to be on that. And then when you talk to the seller, what you have to do is you got to start asking them, you got to say like, look, okay, so these are the things that I need in order for me to give you the best offer. Number one, I need your P&L. I need a balance sheet. I need your rent roll. Do you have a survey? Do you have a plot? What kind of documents can I get from you so I can look at your numbers? Now, all of the facilities that I buy, every facility I've ever bought, they ain't got none of that. All right. They got a yellow notepad. All right. They got a yellow notepad. So they just that's how they keep track of it. That's it. There's no P&L, but they just take cash. A lot of them just take cash, right? So it's like, how do you figure all that out? Okay. So now what you have to do is basically call around to like other storage facilities in the area and try to figure out what their rates are. And then you say, okay, like this is what they're charging. So how much money can I make right now? Right. So you calculate your opportunity cost of what that storage facility could be. Okay. And then after you figure that opportunity cost up, you can figure out your cap rate. Your cap rate would be like, what's the purchase price? What's your vacancy rate? What's your gross income, right? And then what's your expenses? I highly recommend just getting the ROI Muse and just calculating it up that way. But they do have free cap rate calculators that you could just quickly get in, run your numbers, and then look at the cap rate. And you want to run your numbers based on remember, double-digit cap rates, right? That's how you want to do it. So you've got to figure out what your opportunity cost is versus what it is doing right now. Right, so you have 2 different deal analysis, and then you want to make sure that the numbers that you run are in double digits. Okay, the cap rate should be double digits. Okay, and then you make offers. Just make an offer. Now, my personal opinion, I make a lot of different offers. I make, if you didn't watch my creative deal structuring webinar that I did a couple of weeks ago as well too, I highly recommend that you watch that. And essentially, it's all about just making a whole bunch of different offers. Okay, so you want to and then you can make a cash offer, right? So then most people say yeah, I only want cash until you actually offer them several different owner financing options, right? And you want to come up with a couple of different scenarios for that too. All right, and then that way, because people sellers, they don't know that they want They don't know what they want. You have to tell them what they want. They don't know anything, right? They don't know about owner financing. They don't know, that they have to pay like all this money, capital gains when they sell. You gotta tell them all this stuff, right? So that's what you do in your offers. Is like, okay, hey, I'm going to save you all this money. You can take the cash now. I'm going to save you all this money. Here's a couple of different offers that you can actually do by saving that money. You have to still pay capital gains, but you got to pay it like over the course of the next couple of years. That's better, right? Okay. Acquisitions department. Next department is your finance department. All right. So now you've got to now you got to find some money, right? You can't buy this thing unless you got money, right? So now you got to start finding money, right? We already talked about creative deal structuring. So make sure you watch that webinar, okay? And then you got to make a whole bunch of offers, and the thing is, you got to just make offers. It's a numbers game, wholesaling as well as just buying. Like, you just got to make offers, because if you don't make offers, like, you're not going to get anything, right? So just make some offers. You've got to find money to buy these things. So there's private money lenders and hard money lenders, right? So right now you've got to, and then there's commercial lenders, right? So you can go like to a bank and get a loan, right? But right now it's really hard to get loans from banks, right? Who knows how long that's going to take? Points are going up. Everybody thinks everything's a risk level, right? But then you got the private lenders, right? The private lenders are like, hell yeah, spend my money because I need to make money on my money, right? So you got to get out there and find some private lenders to lend you some money. And then actually, I'm 100% privately funded. I don't go to banks. I just go and borrow money from other people, because like, it's just so much more flexible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just telling a student, like, over the course of the last like 5 years, one of my lenders off of me has made $500,000. And it's like, why not give that money to like the bank? The bank could have made that money. But you know what? Like, I literally funded a dream home of this person. Like, he's like, I finally have enough money to build my dream home, and they're out like building it like in the middle of the country. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why not help them instead of helping these banks that don't give a crap about you anyways, right? So private money, you got to learn how to find private money. All right. Hard money is also good. Like let's just say you can't find the private money. Hard money, you can borrow it for like a year, maybe 18 months or something like that. And then you can just refi out. Now it's going to be a higher interest rate, right? It'll be a higher interest rate, but at least to get your foot in the door, you can get in there, build the company up, get it running, get it going, and then just like refi out once you're like at 90% full, right? Because actually banks, like real banks, they won't lend that money a lot of times to you, especially now, unless you're like 90% full. So all these mismanaged properties are not going to be able to get money anyway. So you have to get private money or hard money, okay? And if you want to wholesale, you need transactional funding, right? So, because you're going to have to double close. So for instance, like one of my students, the one that's going to make a couple $100,000 on this deal, like, he does not want the seller to know he's going to be making a couple $100,000, right? So he's going to have to double close. So what that means, he's going to borrow the money. He's going to borrow $900,000 for 24 hours, and then he's going to double close and sell it for $1.2 million. And he's going to pay a fee on that money. So he has to have somebody that's willing to lend that money for 24 hours, or like sometimes it's like a couple of days or a week. Some transactional funding lenders will do like 30 days if you need to. I'll borrow for like 30 days. You'll be like, okay, now I got to go out and actually do some work and find the buyer. Because I'll just buy it and then I'll be like, okay, now I got to go out and like find a buyer, and I'll give myself 30 days to do that. So that's transactional funding, all right? And then on top of that, you got to do bookkeeping, right? You got to figure out, and you got to be able to do all your books, and it's a lot of books, right? I don't do bookkeeping. I don't have time for that, right? So, but in the beginning, and actually even in the beginning, I didn't do. I just hired somebody because I don't have time for that. But you have to remember to keep your books. How many people out there have a business right now and you're not keeping your books, right? You have to keep your books, because I'm telling you, if you want to sell this property later, guess what the buyers are going to be asking for? Your P&L and your balance sheet. If you do not have, and your rent roll. These are the three most important documents, remember? So if you don't have a P&L and a balance sheet and a rent roll, like, you're not gonna be able to get the most bang for your buck. So keep your books up so that you can show all the income coming in. Don't take cash and put it in your pocket, because you're just devaluating your property. So keep your book. Every piece of income that I come in is all going right in, so that later I can be like, yeah, I made that much money. That's why this is a, this is an 8 or a 10 cap, and that's why I'm selling it for this much money or whatever. Make sense? Okay. Finally, management. Okay, so now remember I told y'all, like, you don't understand. Like, you're buying this thing, you're getting it all going, and now you got to manage the sucker. You got to run a business. You actually got to run a business, right? Unless you're wholesaling it, right? So if you're wholesaling, this is not part of what your job is. If you're going to keep it in manage it, right? You got to now you got to train your tenants. From day one, you've got to have a process and a system in place, and all your tenants have to abide by that process, right? Now, by the state of the laws in your state, essentially, that's what, that's what you need to be doing, right? So every state is different. So make sure that you understand your self-storage law, your tenant law, your auction laws, all in the state, whatever state that you're in. But essentially, you have to understand all those laws. You have to understand how to do auctions. And there's property auction. I mean, there's personal property, and there's vehicle auctions, 2 different types of auctions, 2 different ways of doing it, right? And then you've got your tenant laws, and you've got your storage facility laws, or your storage laws or whatever. So you've got to really understand all these things, use the correct contracts, make sure contracts are protecting you. You got to make sure that you have insurance on your property. It's all these different things you have to make sure that you do in order to manage it. And you have to organize and automate it so that your tenants, they just when they come and book a reserve a unit, they are put through a process, right? And the process is sign this, sign this, sign this. Now you got to get your lock, move in. You don't get your gate code till everything's paid. Every single month you got to pay, otherwise your gate code is gone. Whatever your process is, but you got to create these processes. And I highly recommend just doing that from day one, because if you don't, what happens is your tenants just start taking advantage of you, right? So, and you'll get I had to get rid of all the bad tenants. In that very first property I told you about, the owner was just taking cash, just taking it whenever. No, he if some people paid, great. If some people didn't, he didn't even care. And so now all these tenants that were in this facility, they didn't care. Right, so we came in and they were just who is these people coming in and telling us what we can do? And we had so much backlash, and just people were leaving, and I was just bye, see ya. I was I'd rather y'all get out and not pay than me just get a tenant in there that understands our process. So get out if you want to get out. You know what I'm saying? So I really even when I buy a property, I'm hoping that as many people will stay, but if they're not going to listen, if they're not going to follow our systems, then I don't want them to stay, because the ones that come in, right, we're going to train them to follow our systems, and they're going to be they're not going to think that anything is different, right? So you have to create all these systems within your company. All right. And what I'm saying is, if you automate, if you create these systems within your company, if you train your tenants, if you go all electronic so that you can manage everything from your phone, if you're, run your bookkeeping and set everything up and make sure you run everything properly for that, you're going to have this business that's making money every single month, right? Having this cash flow every single month, and you're going to be building this passive income and building this passive wealth, right? And then your valuation of your business is going to be so good that you could sell it, right? So for instance, we bought a property that we bought it for $150,000 in the first week of January of this year. And, it really honestly should have been as is $250,000. It's 76 units. It's a big facility. And, we got it for 150,000, around 150 or 160,000. And then it's going to make $4,500 a month. Right. And if you value, even if you value that at an 8 cap, you're valuing that as it's a $350,000, $400,000 facility, and we bought it for $150,000. You know what I'm saying? And so now we're getting it all cleaned up. We got it all clean, and I got new tenants coming in, and they're all trained, and they all just kind of they just know what to do, and they just kind of, just go with the flow. And it's we're building a business up. We're creating passive wealth, and we're going to, hopefully we'll be able to sell that sucker and make, a couple $100,000 on it. That's awesome, huh? So anyways, that is all under That is your departments. I just went over all of your departments of the storage facility industry. Pretty cool, huh? Put your questions in, all right, here, and I'm going to answer your questions in just a second. All right, so now you have the strategies. Now you have strategies in order to like start creating your business and like step-by-step try. So take those departments, take all the things that I just went in, and then start one by one, just kind of working at each one of those. All right, and the thing with storage and the thing with real estate investing is all of those things, they're all kind of interwoven together. So it's kind of hard to say, okay, only do this, and this. It's like now you need to be working on getting your office set up, getting your marketing set up, getting your acquisitions set up, done, and then like getting your finances all in order. Those first 4 departments, I mean, they should be all happening at the same time. Management starts happening, once you get it under contract and you start working on that. But yeah, so you have a lot of moving pieces, right? But you do have now at least the first couple of steps. All right. And so now hopefully you can be successful, start working at it and don't give up and just be successful. All right, so I wanted to quickly just go over the mentoring. I mentioned that I have super secret self-storage mastermind, right? So if anybody is interested in actually getting a coach, I'm the coach, right? I'm the coach there for you. And the reason I coached, especially in the storage facility industry, because there's just not a lot of coaches out there. And if there is coaches out there, they're kind of expensive. They're kind of expensive, actually. All right, so but my mission in life, if anybody knows me, is my mission is affordable financial literacy. So I'm not going to break the bank, right? That's one of my things. I'm just not going. I would rather you put that money into like building up your wealth, and I'll just be there as a guide. That's what mentors are. So I'm a coach. I'm a guide. I'm going to give you my brain, give you my knowledge, teach you, support you, and direct you, right? I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not going to be there by your side, step by step, helping and telling you exactly what to do, but I'm going to be there for you to lean on, right? So if you need something like this is what the Super Secret Mastermind is. Okay. So one of the things that I love about the mastermind is the accountability. So the Super Secret Mastermind is group coaching, right? It's group coaching, right? So you are going to be in the same coaching group as 30 other students, and they're all looking for storage facility all across the United States. It doesn't matter where you're at, all across the United States. All of the things that I teach, you can apply anywhere in the United States. And we offer like an accountability program with that, which is it's a software called Coach Accountable. And what happens is that we actually, it's an accountability software. Like we go in and put goals. Your goal, so my goal in the next 90 days is to buy a storage facility, or my goal in the next 90 days is to wholesale a storage facility. Right? Okay, so what are the steps that you have to take in order to make that goal, to get that goal into fruition, right? So, okay, I need to go driving for storage facilities at least once a week, right? I need to call at least 5 sellers or 10 sellers every single week, right? I need to map out my facilities at least once a week. And so basically we set the goal up, and then we set the metrics to reach that goal. And then what the accountability software does is remind you, right? Hey, you said you're going to call 5 storage facilities this week. Did you call them? Yes or no? And then you put yes or no. And then what happens is you'll see, and all the yeses are green and all the no's are red. And like when you start seeing a lot of reds in all your goals, you're kind of like, I'm not doing good. See, I used to when I rehabbed homes, I had a team of like 5 employees, and like we would meet on Mondays, and we had this like goal. This is before I knew about Coach Accountable, but we had like this goal sheet where like everybody put their goals in for the week. If you finished your goal, you got to put it in green. If you didn't finish your goal, you got to put it in red. And so we had like this master sheet, and we would come in every single week, and everybody would be like putting in their greens or their reds, and then it's like, oh my gosh, this is like, oh, like Katie, like you just like, oh, you're getting a lot of reds lately. What's going on? Like, why are you getting so many reds? I like, look at Sarah, she's getting all these greens and you're getting all these reds. And so as a group, you have this accountability, and you kind of keep each other on point. Like, what's the issue? Why do you have so many reds? And let's help you to get your reds from your reds to your greens and stuff. So the group, as a group, you have this community that are holding you accountable, because they want what you want as well too. right? They want what you want as well too. And there's a private Facebook group. So we get into the private Facebook group, people post like, hey, I was driving for storage. I found like a facility. I talked to the owner. He's interested in selling. Here's the numbers. What do you think? And they post out and everybody gets in and chimes in. Well, what about this? You should offer this. You should do this. And so the whole group is helping you, not just me, but you get like a lot of other people helping you to figure out how to run the deals and how to get everything done. So that the power of group coaching is amazing. I'm telling you, it's amazing, right? I love it so much. I'm also in coaching groups as well too. And like I have that group as well too, holding me accountable. Okay, so that is one of the bonuses. And then the other bonus, yes, is the office hours. There's a lot of different bonuses. I only put a couple bonuses on here because I don't want to go through all of them. But essentially, another thing is that on Fridays is like my office hours, right? So I open my whole day Friday up pretty much every Friday. And I just answer calls one after another. Every one of my students can set a call with me and they can be like, hey, I'm kind of stuck. What about this? Or what should I be working on next? Or is this a good deal? Or you know, how do I talk to this seller? And they just get on and they just, I give them some time so they can talk to me, right? So you have me as a coach on the phone every single Friday if you want that, right? So that's another bonus. And there's like there's hardly any, there's no coaching program, especially in the storage industry that does that, but like hardly any coaching programs do that, you know, because everybody's busy, but I try to help as much as I can. Okay, and then also you get like, like I told you, like all the systems, every system, every document, every checklist, you're going to see how all of our 6 companies are set up and running automated, right? And so you're going to get everything that you need, anything you need. I just put them right into the Coach Accountable software as we put all of our files, and you can download the contracts and you can download any checklist, master spreadsheets. I told you my master spreadsheet, I put all my storages in is right there. You could just copy that. Everything that you need is all right there. And then as we move along and through the program, I just put whatever you need in there. You know, whatever you guys ask for, I just put it in. So all documents, I got it all, right? We got it all. So you might as well just give it to you. And then finally you have, so it's group coaching, right? So every other Tuesday we meet and it's me just sitting, like standing here and I have a flip chart and I'm talking and I'm teaching, or I'll bring some speakers in. And then like we had like, not last time, but the time before, we had 2 storage facility owners coming in and talking about like how they found their houses, how they found their storage facilities, how they manage their storage facilities, like, how they set everything up, how they found them, how they did deal analysis, what they look for, what they don't look for. So you get like this insight. We've had lenders coming in. I've had commercial lenders come in and talk, private lenders come in, and like literally lenders that want to give you money, like private lenders. I've had like at least 5 or 6 of those in the last like couple of months come in. There's a lot of people out there that have money that just want to like, loan money out for storage. And then even buyers, like if you want to wholesale, like I have a buyer right now, he's buying left and right. He's like buying so many stores because he works for a REIT and he's buying these facilities for REITs, right? So 500,000 or more, like he'll just buy those types of facilities, like anything that you have pretty much. So I introduced you to this buyer, all these kinds of things. But the virtual calls are just teaching, right? So I'm getting up and just teaching like this, and we're going to go over like this next time we're just doing private money, how to find private money, how to talk to lenders, how to put private money package together. Last time we talked about wholesaling, how to wholesale storage facility with step by step by step. I gave you the whole process. So everything that you need in your business. And then once people start buying the facilities, then I'll go into like managing them and how to, set your systems up internally and how to do the software and all this kind of stuff. And then you have 2 face-to-face storage facilities. Is face-to-face masterminds. The 2 face-to-face masterminds is where we're going to be sitting in a room and like just like basically it's like a boot camp essentially is what it is, and we just go over everything that we need to go over. We have speakers come in and we mastermind. You get to talk about your business and what challenges you're having, what wins you're having, and the whole group just like chimes in and helps you. So that is the group coaching. That's the super simple self-storage mastermind. So if you're interested in that, like finding out more about it, I highly recommend that you just go to stacyrossetti.com/self-storage. And all you have to do is fill out an implementation strategy session, right? That's it. Just fill out an application, and we're going to meet for a couple of minutes and go over just like essentially what your next steps are. If you are interested in this in the strategy session, just go ahead and book, fill out the application, and we'll book a call for you. Okay. And I'll sit and go over like, you know, what your next steps should be, what you should be focusing on. And then if you want more information about the mastermind, then we can go over that as well too. And I've been doing the strategy sessions now for a couple of weeks, working out really good. A lot of people, just kind of helping them just get unstuck from where they should be. So if you need some help with me, I'm offering that right now. Okay. Just trying to help as many people as I can, especially during this time. Really, that's what I've been doing. It's like during this time, it's like, well, how can I help? Okay, I can help by at least, you know, moving people in the right direction. So if you're serious about building wealth, I highly recommend you look at storage facilities. And if you need hand holding, if you're not sure 100% or you're the type of person that needs coaching, then highly recommend just sitting with me. We can go over kind of how I can help you as well too. Okay, let's go over the questions real fast. Any questions, just put them into the chat. Okay, so what was the app for land and ownership information? That's Landglide. Okay. Was the application that you said for $10 a month that helped with the property lines? Yes, Landglide. It's an app called Landglide. It's $10 a month. Yeah, so bad news. I live in the metro Atlanta area. As far as finding target market, I should look further. Yes, outside the Atlanta metro area, not in. Now you might be able to find something, for instance, like Columbus or, you know, Macon, you know, Augusta, Savannah, you know, but like inside of Atlanta, they're just too expensive here. I mean, there's no mom and pop shops. You're looking for a mom and pop shop, right? So you're looking for like, you know, people like me that are like, yeah, I'm bored or whatever, you know, older people that are just like, you know, built them and then they're just tired of them. That's what you're looking for, okay? Not any REITs, not big ones. You don't need like, you know, you don't want hundreds of units. You want like $1 million will get you a couple hundred units. A nice facility will get you like a couple of hundred units. And honestly, that's way too big. As I said, a REIT is buying that one. So people like us, you know, the mom and pop people, you know, 150 units or, you know, 200 or less is like kind of your sweet spot. And most of them will be like 100 units or less. And those are going to be a couple $100,000. Okay. Can you give me an example of how to come up with an offer? Yeah, so you just need, that's what I said, when you come up with an offer, you need to, it's all about negotiating with the seller. First, you need to figure out what the price is going to be. You need to like, what price do they want, right? So then you want to talk about like interest, how much, essentially your, the length of the loan, the interest rate, the mortgage, like how much monthly do you want to pay? Those are kind of the things that you want to ask. And then you have to come up with a whole bunch of different scenarios based on what they want. All right. Based on the price that they want. And sometimes you can pay like, you know, sometimes pay more, offer more. And also down payment. Because you can be like, hey, what if I don't do a down payment and I pay you this much? If they just say they want 200,000 and you said, I don't have any down payment. So what if I just offered no down payment, but I offer 250,000 for the facility? Ah, that's a good one right there. All right. So there's a million scenarios. All right, on offers. All right. So I highly recommend watching my creative deal structuring webinar, but then you just got to practice. If you're not going to get a coach, you got to practice. If you were in the mastermind where they're like, you go and you find a facility and then you come into the group and then I will give you 5 different offers to offer them. That's how it works. Until you start, you know, until you start knowing how to do it yourself. But in the beginning, if you don't know, like, you know, I'll just give it to you. That's what I'll do. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's see what else. Any more questions here? Can we partner with someone in another state to buy storage? Absolutely. That's what all the lenders that I brought in to talk to the group, they're from all over the country. They just want to, they like a lot of people in California or like in the Northwest or Nevada, they're just like, yeah, we'll partner with somebody over on the East Coast because you can't buy anything over there. And it's like $1 gazillion. Yeah. You get the same facility over here for a couple $100,000. So they're like, hell yeah, I'll partner with you. How do you verify what they owe on the property? I mean, you just ask. I mean, honestly, these people they're not gonna lie to you. You just ask them, what do you owe on the property? And, you know, is that free and clear, or do you have a mortgage? And then just ask. You know, you can always go on, like in your state, there's public records. You can go into the public records and you can search public records to see what the mortgage is, right? But just ask, talk to the seller. I'm telling you, these sellers, the ones that I teach that you find, they just want to talk to you forever anyways, because they're just like, I mean, think about it. A storage facility owner that has like one facility and they're just like maybe 150 units. I mean, they're bored out of their minds. Like, I don't understand why they're not scaling up. You should be scaling up, going out and find some more facilities. But instead, they're just like, take a call a day or two, and they're just like bored. They don't want to talk to you. I talked to one lady here in Jasper, and she paid $1.4 million for her facility, which I feel is like way too high. I think it's a couple hundred like units. I think it was like 300 units or whatever. And she just like goes into the office every day and sits there. And I was like, are you not bored every day? She's like, yeah, I am kind of bored. I was like, where, lady? I was like, why aren't you going out and finding out some more facilities to buy? All right. Oh, cool. You're in Miami. Awesome. Okay, so definitely you need to be like not in Miami. Miami is way too expensive. All right. So you need to be like in the middle of Florida. Like you need to be like in the middle. Like, you know, I'm saying find places like is it Ocala or Scala or whatever it's called? Like I'm talking about middle, but not like Orlando. I'm thinking about Orlando. Like Orlando's hurting right now. You think? I'm wondering if Orlando, you know, like it's gonna be hit in the downturn, because you know it's all like Disney's shut down, like nobody's traveling there. So I really feel like Orlando might be a good spot, and if it's not Orlando, outside of Orlando too, you know. So you want to be like middle Florida is where you want to be, because I don't think around but in the Panhandle might be good too, like in Florida. Like I'm thinking, you know, like because there's all that travel there too. So I'm thinking that maybe some prices will go down. So Florida is like, you know, Florida's one of those states where it's just going to be like, you're going to have to watch it and see what happens, because there's so many traveling people there, you know. So I think it's going to be hit pretty hard. It's such a saturated market. Do you think I can find storage facilities somewhere? Yeah, so I just told you, yeah. Central Florida. Yeah, you got to go into Florida where like nobody wants to be. And there's places in Florida, like you're driving and they're like, there's a whole bunch like in between Jackson and Orlando there. Like there's a whole lot of nothing there, you know. So check those out, my personal opinion. Okay, good. Any other questions? Anything else? Okay, how do you reach owners? Skip trace? Yeah, just skip trace them. I mean, actually just call. Like the thing with storage facilities that I love is that like the phone number is right on the sign. Yeah, the phone number's right on the sign. So just call that first. At least try that. And then after that, you can't get a hold of the, you want to talk to the owner, all right? And then if you can't get the owner, just skip trace them. Skip trace. Okay, you're getting it. You're asking good questions. Could someone do this for? Yes, you can do this virtually nationwide. Yes, go back and go watch my wholesale how to virtually wholesale storage facilities webinar that I just did like a month ago. I highly recommend just going back and watch my webinars. All right, because I'm done with webinars. I'm taking a break. I'm tired. I did like 10 webinars this past month. So, but I'm going to put all of them on YouTube, put them on my website and stuff like this. But yes, you can just virtually wholesale and buy and own and manage storage facilities virtually. That's what I'm saying, virtually. All right. So our storage facilities are 2 hours away. All right. My husband goes down like once a week. Once a week, once a month, maybe, to go check on the storage facilities. All right. That's it. That's it. Like once a month. That's it. All right. So yes, you can do this virtually. That is the joy. Okay. How do you find buyers? Buyers, that's the hard part. All right. You got to just go into storage, go into like Facebook groups. I mean, so you have to find, you know, that's the hard part, is finding the buyers. But I highly recommend Facebook groups. Start building up a list. Start with the Facebook groups first, right? Go to like, you know, go to your local, go to your local like storage facility association maybe and ask, or even if you find one like in that area, just call all the storage facility owners in the area. They might be interested in buying. You know what I'm saying? So do that. What kind of budget would you recommend for marketing? There's no budget. There's no budget for marketing. There's no budget. It's unless you're, I mean, your budget is your time, because you have to drive around and call them and find them. That's what you have to do. That's the time. So it's a lot of time, no money, but time. That's why I love storage facilities as well. All right. Okay. Good questions. All right. What else we got here? We got some questions. You're amazing. Thanks for sharing. You're amazing. Okay. You mentioned last week's video about analyzing an area. Can you let me know where to find it? Watch my video, my webinar on choosing the market, how to choose your market. All right. That is where you can analyze your area, learn how to figure out what area. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be Stacy Rossetti, the Stacy Rossetti YouTube channel. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out YouTube though, so just hang with me. All right, I'm getting there. All right, but it's somewhere. It's you just search Stacy Rossetti, and we're going to put them on one of those. All right, and just give me like a couple days because we're working on that right now. Okay. I'm not understanding YouTube. Zoom and YouTube is kind of hard. I'm getting there, but I'm just trying to figure it out. To make sure I'm understanding, you drive around for about 2 hours and find 15. No, we literally drove for like 8 hours to find 15 units. It's like an all day thing. But the good thing is that I love like now is because like you could actually get up. I mean, it's a long drive to drive 8 hours, right? We got like the thing, we got a nice car. We got Lillian, and we got the, what are they called? The DVDs in the seats. So I just pop we just pop some DVDs and we drive around. And then after a while, she's just like, she watched some Paw Patrol. And then we get out and we go to a park, walk around, have a picnic, play a little bit, get some exercise, and then we drive around again. Like, so we'll do like maybe a 2 to 3, we'll stop like every couple of hours. But yeah, it's like a full day of driving. Like you can go out and drive for like 2 hours, but you're not going to find that many storage facilities that way. So I basically say for me personally, we do driving for storage at least 1 day a month in 8 hours. All right. And on average, you can find about 15 storage facilities. Now this month we did 2. So we found like maybe 25 to 30 storage facilities. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I think I answered all the questions. Okay. All right, guys. So let me know if y'all want to do the implementation strategy session. I'm here for you. All right. Let's get our goals. Let's like in 90 days, you get a storage facility. Y'all can do it. Y'all can totally do it. All right. Let me see. What else? Okay. I'm out. That's it. I'm done for the day. Okay. I'm gonna go work on my business. All right. All right, y'all. I appreciate your jumping on. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye.